The year is 1066, a year that would be etched into the annals of history. Imagine a crisp autumn day in England. The leaves are turning golden and the air is filled with the scent of harvest. But the ground is trembling under the weight of marching armies. Soldiers clad in armor, their faces set with determination, move forward with purpose. This is the day of the Battle of Hastings, a day that would change the course of English history forever. The clash of swords, the cries of warriors, and the strategies of leaders would all converge in a momentous event. Why should we care about a battle fought over 900 years ago? What relevance does it hold in our modern world? Because its impact still resonates today. The echoes of that fateful day can be felt in our language, our laws, and our cultural identity. Hastings wasn't just a fight for land or power, it was a confrontation between two distinct ways of life, two cultures vying for dominance. It was a clash of cultures, a struggle for the very soul of England. The Norman and Anglo-Saxon worlds collided, each bringing their own traditions, beliefs, and ways of life. The outcome of this battle would determine not just who ruled England, but the language we speak, the laws we follow, and the society we live in today. The ripple effects of this battle shaped the very foundation of modern England. The Battle of Hastings is a story of ambition, betrayal, courage, and ultimately, the changing tides of history. It is a testament to the enduring human spirit and the relentless march of time. Our story begins with the death of Edward the Confessor, the King of England. Edward, a deeply religious man, died childless, leaving the throne vacant and a kingdom ripe for the taking. With no clear heir, England was plunged into a chaotic power struggle. Several powerful figures emerged, each believing they had the rightful claim to the throne. The stage was set for a deadly game of thrones, with England as the prize. The most powerful lords of England, the Witan, would decide the next king, but their choice would have far-reaching consequences, plunging the nation into a bitter conflict. The throne of England is empty, and we must choose wisely. Our decision will shape the future of our land. Three main contenders vied for the English crown: Harold Godwinson, William of Normandy, and Harold Hardrada. Each of these men had a compelling claim and a powerful army to back it up. Harold, a powerful English earl, was crowned king shortly after Edward's death. His coronation was swift, aiming to secure his position before any rivals could challenge him. He was a skilled warrior and a popular leader, but his claim to the throne was contested. Many believed his ascent was too hasty and lacked the divine approval that was crucial for legitimacy. "I am the rightful king of England, chosen by the Witan and blessed by God. My rule is just and ordained," claimed Harold. Across the English Channel, William, the Duke of Normandy, fumed. He had long believed that the English crown was his by right. William claimed that Edward had promised him the throne years earlier. This promise, he argued, was a binding agreement that could not be ignored. He was a ruthless and ambitious ruler, determined to make England his own. His preparations for invasion were meticulous, leaving nothing to chance. William claimed, "Edward promised me the throne, and I will claim what is rightfully mine. I will not rest until I sit upon the English throne." Meanwhile, from the icy north came Harold Hardrada, the Viking king of Norway. His ambitions were as fierce as his reputation. Hardrada, a fierce warrior and seasoned raider, saw England as a prize ripe for the taking. His experience in battle was unmatched, and his men were loyal to the core. Harold Hardrada declared, "England will be mine, and I will reign supreme. My legacy will be written in the annals of history." With three powerful contenders, each with their own ambitions and armies, war was inevitable. The stage was set for a monumental clash that would determine the future of England. The fate of the kingdom hung in the balance as these three men prepared for the ultimate battle. The armies that clashed at Hastings were as different as their leaders. Harold's forces, the English army, were primarily infantry. The core of his army was made up of free English peasants who fought on foot with axes, spears, and javelins. They were a formidable force, especially when fighting defensively. William's Norman army was a more diverse force. He had heavily armored knights, skilled archers, and infantry. The Norman knights, mounted on horseback and wielding lances and swords, were a terrifying sight on the battlefield. Their mobility and heavy armor gave them a significant advantage in open combat. The clash between these two armies, one a stalwart shield wall and the other a force of mounted knights, would be a defining moment in military history. As William gathered his forces in Normandy, Harold faced an immediate threat from the north. Harold received the news of Harald Hardrada landing near Ricol with 10,000 to 15,000 big Viking army and 300 longships. Harold, forced to act quickly, marched his army north to confront the Viking threat. The two armies met at the Battle of Stamford Bridge, a decisive victory for the English. The battle was notable for its intensity and the high casualties on both sides. King Harold's forces managed to defeat the Vikings. Hardrada was killed, and his Viking army was routed. Victory came at a heavy price for Harold. His army was depleted, and he had to march south immediately to face the looming threat of William's invasion. Exhausted and outnumbered, Harold's men prepared for another grueling battle. William landed his army unopposed at Pevensey Bay on the southern coast of England. Harold, weary from his northern campaign, marched his armies south to confront the invaders. The two armies met near Hastings, at a place that would forever be etched in history. The English, holding the high ground, formed a formidable shield wall, a tightly packed formation of warriors with their shields interlocked. This defensive tactic had served them well in the past. The Normans, positioned at the bottom of the slope, launched a series of attacks, their cavalry charging uphill. The English, however, held firm, their shield wall repelling the Norman onslaught. The battle raged throughout the day, a brutal test of strength and endurance. William, a cunning strategist, realized that a direct assault on the English shield wall would be futile. He ordered his troops to feign a retreat, a tactic designed to draw the English out from behind their defenses. The English, believing victory was at hand, broke ranks and pursued the seemingly fleeing Normans. This was the moment we had been waiting for. As the English pursued, the Normans turned and charged, catching their opponents in disarray. The English, their shield wall broken, fought bravely but were cut down by the Norman cavalry and archers. The tide of the battle had turned, and the English hopes for victory began to dwindle with the setting sun. As the battle raged, Harold, the English king, fought bravely alongside his men. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Amidst the chaos and bloodshed, an arrow found its mark, striking Harold in the eye. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, a historical record of the time, describes how Harold, the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, fell by the sea. His death marked a turning point in the battle. With their king slain, the English resistance crumbled. The remaining English forces, demoralized and leaderless, were cut down by the victorious Normans. The Battle of Hastings, a brutal and bloody encounter, had reached its tragic end. William's victory at Hastings was not just a military triumph, it was a turning point in English history. On Christmas Day, 1066, William the Conqueror, as he became known, was crowned King of England. The Norman Conquest, as it is called, brought about profound changes to English society. The Normans, with their distinct language, culture and laws, left an indelible mark on the vanquished nation. The English language itself underwent a transformation, adopting Norman French words and phrases. This fusion of languages laid the foundation for modern English as we know it. The Norman conquest was not just about language, it reshaped the political and social landscape of England. William, a ruthless and effective ruler, established a strong centralized government, replacing the Anglo-Saxon system of rule. He ordered the compilation of the Domesday Book, a comprehensive survey of landholdings in England. This meticulous record provided William with the information he needed to effectively tax his new subjects and consolidate his power. Castles, a symbol of Norman might, sprang up across the English countryside, solidifying their grip on the conquered land. The Tower of London, one of the most iconic landmarks in England, stands as a lasting reminder of the Norman conquest. The Battle of Hastings was more than just a battle. It was a turning point in history that changed the course of nations. It was a seismic event that reverberates through history. It marked the end of Anglo-Saxon rule in England and the beginning of the Norman era. a period of profound transformation. The echoes of Hastings can still be heard today in the language we speak, the laws we follow, and the very fabric of English society. The Norman conquest brought with it new governance, architectural styles, and cultural shifts that have left an indelible mark on England. As we learn about the Battle of Hastings, we learn about ourselves, our history, and the forces that have shaped the world we live in. The strategies employed, the bravery displayed, and the sacrifices made all contribute to a deeper understanding of our past. So take a moment to explore the stories of the people who fought and died at Hastings, to understand the tactics and the drama of this pivotal battle. You'll discover that history is not just a collection of dates and names, but a living, breathing narrative that connects us to our ancestors. It is a tapestry of human stories, triumphs and tragedies that continue to shape our world. The Battle of Hastings is a reminder of the resilience and complexity of human societies and how a single event can alter the trajectory of history. By delving into these stories, we gain insight into the human condition and the enduring spirit of those who came before us. Let the echoes of Hastings guide you through the annals of time, revealing the profound impact of this historic event.